Welcome to North Dalton Oval. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Struggling a bit with our audio. I'm Troy Coleman from Keira Cricket Club.
I'm Steve Bond from Northern Districts. And you're watching the T20 final in second grade.
So we've missed an outstanding wicket there of CJ Smith. Stump literally snapped in half, which finds Keira 1 for 13 off 2.1 overs.
Nathan Riley steaming in from the northern end.
Very good length again. It's a tough first ball to get there by Dave Mason, but he comfortably on the front foot digging that one out.
Yeah, he's really starting to ask some questions in his second over here, Nathan Riley. It's much better.
Yeah, we saw his first over was a bit short and wide, but he's really found his line and length this over, and he's putting the screws on Keira here. Another full ball pushed down the ground by Dave Mason there. Good quick single.
Another excellent stop in the field by Brendan Davis. Another one of the young and promising fast bowlers coming through the Northern Districts ranks. Got 5 wickets in the semi-final to destroy Uni.
That's a very impressive showing in a 2020. Clearly subscribes to the Bondi school of fielding. Like a panther across the oval there he was.
Yeah, nothing ever gets past.
And that's where you can build a lot of pressure in the field. Like easy singles where you just put it on the batsman, letting him know that there's some quality fielders out there, and it might make them second guess themselves a bit when they're pushing runs later on.
It'll be Mark Cottam again from the southern end, starting his second over with a good delivery there. Well stopped by the captain Lee Turner at mid-off.
Dave Mason on the sweep there. Don't know how that missed everything, and not to be called a wide. Interesting.
We'll put it down as a drop catch to Robert Murphy, the keeper.
I think he'd like that. It's a very full ball, pulled through his square leg by Dave Mason, resulting in 2. It'll be interesting to see this decision, because Illawrra cricket hasn't adopted the MCC rule of any ball above waist height is a no ball, which I think is fair. For a spinner, there's no real damage, or there's not much risk in it. If you can't really double dip on those type of things. Dave Mason on the sweep there. Whoa. Another very risky run.
Yeah, once again, a direct hit. Would have had him walking back to the pavilion, hat in hand.
And after the early wicket, you don't really need to see that. You don't really. You need to rebuild. You need to start building a partnership with quality batsmen out there. The last thing you need is a careless run out. Doug Murphy on the front foot, cover driven. The chase is on.
Other people.
Fantastic effort. Fantastic effort. Unfortunately, the ball has just gone for 4. You can't fault that effort out there in the field.
Yeah, great chase there by Logan Clements, but an excellent shot there to Murphy to put that through the gap.
Got the replay here. Body on the line, full stretch. Just couldn't stop the momentum there. Doug Murphy squeezing that one out. A very good length again. Line and length. You can't really fold him here in the early overs. Understandable. Doug Murphy hit the last one for 4, but that's where you want him hitting. You want him on that front foot. And same again. Bowling very well here.
Yeah, another good over there from Mark Cottam. Other than the full toss, would have been pretty close to as good as you can ask.
That means Keira is 1 for 22 after 4 overs. A run rate of 5.5, which would bring them up over that 100-110 mark, which is a very defendable target in the 2020 cricket.
We're going to see Nathan Riley again from the northern end after his last over. Very predictable move there from Turner. Keep the pressure on, hunt for more wickets.
And that's where you win your games. You win your games with wickets early. You want the lesser batsmen facing more of the balls. And
Oh,
he's
bowled. Another wicket there to Nath Riley. I think more poor execution from the batsman there, but he's going to take that. Under edge, straight back into leg stump. Another one falls for Keira. I think he'll be fairly disappointed about that.
This brings Keira, batsman and captain Matt Stark, out to the crease. So we'll see if Northern Districts have learnt from their last or previous games against Keira, because Matt Stark's not a noted boundary hitter, but he's very good at manipulating the ball through gaps, and he loves his little noodle through the leg side. So we'll see what Northern Districts does here. But those tight lines, getting batsmen trying to manufacturing shots, brings to the downfall of another batsman.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there, Troy. I think good pressure from Cottam. A good over, last over from Nath Riley. It's definitely created some pressure, and Keira looking to score.
Good first delivery, but you see the Matt Stark textbook noodle.
Yeah, excellent stop in there behind and backwards square by Ryan Davidson. He'll be one to watch in the coming overs. Basically bowls hand grenades every delivery.
Now hand grenades, is that a good delivery or a bad delivery? I've heard it used flippantly for both.
Good for Northern Districts, not so good for Keira.
Oh, a slight edge there by Matt Stark, and the vacant third man, that'll run away.
Yeah, very unjust there to the bowler. Excellent delivery, finds the edge, but unfortunately goes for 4.
He's got very soft hands, Matt Stark. But Keira will need to rebuild here. They've got depth in their batting lineup, but you don't want to be leaving it to other people. So there's still so much left in this match. They can afford to give themselves a few overs, see off these good opening bowlers, and try and rebuild from there.
And these are the two guys to do it. Both experienced T20 campaigners. And as you've been saying, Matt Stark has definitely taken the game away from Northern Districts in the past.
He cemented himself as a bit of a cold hero when he first walked on. He got one of the best 9s you'll ever see. Another good delivery there.
Yeah, he's definitely found his line and length. Nice and full at the stumps, building pressure. Much better from Nath Riley.
But it's a good lack of urgency that Matt Stark's showing at the moment. You don't need to try and score off every ball, and you'll get good balls and you'll get bad balls. So you just got to be patient. And as I say that, he has a wild slash at one outside off stump. Well done, Matt.
Yeah, excellent teasing delivery there from Nathan Riley. Really drew that shot out of Matt Stark.
And due to the tightness of the previous deliveries, a little bit of width, the batsman's eyes light up and it draws a false shot. No doubt enticed by the big gap between point and cover. Oh, very full delivery there. But for no run. Another fantastic over.
Yeah, Keira 2 for 26 off 5.
After 5 overs, Keira was good for 26. In the first round semi-finals, that day defeated Helmsburg by 7 wickets, and Gary defeated University by 10 wickets. Fourth grade final, Keira 2 for 80 defeated Northern Districts Gold on 79.
So, into his third over here. Cottam. You're towing a fine line here. Do you want to save your good bowlers or your best bowlers for later in the game? As I say that, almost takes another wicket.
It's a very close call there for Doug Murphy.
I'd be interested to see if this takes any back, because it looks fairly straight from here. Doug Murphy on the front foot.
Oh, run out chance. Oh.
A little bit more match awareness there. He could have just thrown it to the bowler and the bowler could have removed the bails. Instead, he's gone for the direct hit. It's the 4th run out chance so far, and while there's a school of thought thinking that Keira might be putting the pressure on the fielders, a lot of these runs have been unnecessary and fairly risky.
Yeah, that last one was terrible there. As you say, a simple throw to the bowler would have had him out by 2 or 3 metres.
And for the batsman to see it go all the way to the fielder and still take off, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't matter who the fielder is. You might be trying to put someone under the pump, but to hit it straight to a fielder and take off. Much better shot from Matt Stark there. And a better judge of the 2nd run there.
Yeah, that was good running there.
But as we were saying earlier, you've got to run that first one hard. And I understand that Doug's of a different vintage to Matt Stark, but you've got to know who you're running with. Another good delivery there.
Yeah, this has been an excellent over. The last one of the power play. Five balls down now, I think, for only 3 runs. Excellent work here from Mark Cottam.
Fantastic over.
Yeah, great over there.
So the end of the power play sees a few more fielders allowed to drop out now. And Keira's run rate of 4.8 now.
Yeah, they've really worked that back from the 10 off the first over. It's been some excellent bowling from Nathan Riley and Mark Cottam, and really good fielding from Northern Districts. Those wickets have really dropped that run rate down considerably.
There's a lot of match left, so you can afford to have a few tighter overs as long as you don't see their best bowlers take the majority of the wickets. If you can see them out, then you're forcing bowling changes, new bowlers coming in, which means you've got a chance to cash in on those earlier overs from the newer bowlers.
Nathan Riley again from the northern end. Short. Excellent catch taken on the fence by Logan Clements. Sees Doug Murphy fall. Nathan Riley take his 3rd wicket in 4 overs. Troy's shaking his head. It was probably poor shot selection from Doug Murphy.
That ball was a considerable margin outside off stump, and I understand that Doug Murphy likes feeling the ball under the bat, but it may not have been the time for that kind of shot. And found possibly the only fielder that's outside the ring, so very attacking bowling, very attacking captaincy, but probably an unnecessary shot given the situation. So that brings Logan Brayley to the crease, and Logan Brayley's been a bit of a surprise package this year for Keira. He's, with limited form in the different forms of the game, he's found his stride in the 2020s. He's been able to kind of graft an innings, and he's been batting very well. So hopefully he doesn't get overawed by the situation, because he's been batting well, and he just needs to think what's been working for him and just try and continue with that.
It is a great opportunity for the young man to get out in the middle, put on a good display, cement his spot in seconds, and potentially move up to ones.
And that's the goal. You'd want to be playing as high a grade as you can play, and what better time to do it on the biggest stage. Well in behind it there, Logan Brayley.
Another good result there for Northern Districts. Another dot ball, really starting to build the pressure here on Keira.
And 2 not really known stroke makers out there as well, so they'll need to be smart with their batting here, Keira. They'll need to know what their game plan is and where they can score their runs. But with tight bowling like this, it makes it very, very difficult for them, because they'll have to try and score soon, and if they're bowling such tight lines, they're going to have to manufacture shots, and that's probably not on at the moment.
Yeah, that was an excellent delivery there by Nathan Riley. On a length, drawing the batsman forward, moving slightly away towards the slips. Bit of a play and miss, feeling for the ball. Excellent bowling.
And I really like this field set, still very attacking. Slip in, gully, and a bowler bowling to his field. Doing a very good job here for his team.
Yeah, once again, another excellent delivery. Really working on off stump.
And with 3 balls remaining, only 2, sorry, he's been the chief destroyer here for Northern District. You can't afford to give him another wicket here, so you've probably got to see off these last 2 balls, which will see very, very tidy figures. Well played there by Logan Brayley, but again, another good ball.
That is the thing about Nathan Riley. He's a very attacking bowler, but he can go for some runs, as we saw in his first over. But these next 3 overs have been excellent.
And that just comes with confidence. He takes an early wicket in his second over, and his confidence right up, and he's been bowling significantly better from his first over, which I can probably attest to nerves, because the bowls that followed have been fantastic. On the back foot there, but that ends a fantastic spell there from Nathan Riley.
Yeah, excellent bowling there. It must be 3 for maybe 20 or 4, maybe even less.
Yeah, and with 10 off the first over, he's come back in such an impressive fashion. Looks like Cotton will be bowling his full quota here, which is good. I like this as attacking captaincy. Still only 1 man out, or potentially 2
as soon as you said that, the second one goes out.
And the third. Really good commentary here. Just astute cricketing brain.
Yeah, I think that's one thing Northern District's very lucky with in second grade, is that, as I mentioned before, they've got a lot of bowlers and a lot of quality bowlers. So if these guys are bowling well, they can bowl through without putting too much pressure on the rest of the team.
And Keira just need to stay patient. They'll get good deliveries, but with the field back, they just need to be pushing these singles down to the deep fielders, as we see there. And they don't need to do too much else. Because if you can get 5-6 runs from the over without taking much risk, then they could see more fielding changes, and we might go back to that more attacking ring field.
I think that is the thing, the key here for Keira, just to get themselves back in the game. They've lost a few early wickets, but get yourself back in the game.
And as Logan Brayley's still on his duck here, so they've brought Long off back into the ring, so he can't just nudge that easy single. So we'll see what Logan Brayley does. He needs to play smart here, because there's a big opportunity for him to bat the innings. He just needs to not do anything. They take a quick single and put pressure on the field. That's a better single. You like that, because it's between 2 fielders instead of just blocking it straight to one and taking off. You don't mind seeing that. It's a full ball there from Cotton. Very nonchalant running there by Matt Stark. Even with the misfield, he wasn't as comfortably home as his running may have suggested.
Yeah, clean pickup there, could have had him in trouble.
It's a nice shot for no run there. I just feel like their judge of runs today is just not as accurate as I feel it needs to be, because there was a run there and not so much the one before. I think that the school of thought here is that they want to be putting pressure on the field, and I understand that, but I just feel like they're a little bit off with the runs that they're taking at the moment.
That's another excellent spell there from Mark Cottam. 4 overs, maybe going at about 3 or 4 runs and over. Didn't get any wickets, but definitely created the pressure for Nathan Riley to take the 3 key wickets at the other end.
Exactly right, and bowling in partnerships is so essential in all formats of the game. You don't need to be taking wickets from both ends. Like, obviously that would be fantastic, but if there's no runs being scored at one end, that means they've got to try from the other, and that's what Cottam and Riley did there. They bowled in a fantastic partnership, seeing Riley be the chief destroyer, but a lot of that credit has to go to Cottam as well.
A bowling change at the northern end for Northern District sees Ryan Davidson come on. He's a very, very experienced and dangerous T20 bowler.
And what would you describe his bowling style as, Bondi? I'm struggling to pick it up from here.
It's right arm mystery hand grenades.
Looks like he ran his fingers down the side of that one. I'm liking the mixed bag of bowling here. And that's what you need in 2020 cricket. You don't want to get the same ball. If you get the same ball, batsmen can kind of predict or they can anticipate shots. But if you don't know what the bowler's doing, it makes it so much harder. Work to the onside there by Matt Stark. They're pushing hard. Logan Brayley comes back and the pressure on the field forces the misfield.
Yeah, excellent placement there from Matt Stark, and good running.
And that is Matt Stark's bread and butter. He loves it there, and so often you see, because he works the ball into different fielding positions, so you can't really set a conventional field to him. And again, he's worked one off his front pad there down the long on for a single. But he's not really a lofter of the ball, so you could nearly have another person in close on the leg side to try and force him to try and hit over that player, because he rolls his wrist so well and he plays so far out in front of his front pad that lofting the ball is a bit of a difficult proposition for him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. At this point, with 3 wickets, only 35 on the board in the 9th over, it may well be worth Captain Turner applying a bit more pressure to Stark and make him play a risky shot.
Exactly right, because you're not going to be defending 70. If you bat your quota of the overs and you get 70 runs, then you're not defending that. I don't care what you say, but they've got the luxury of setting more attacking fields with the pressure that they build early.
An excellent start there from Ryan Davidson. 3 runs off his first over. Keira 3 for 35 off 9. And we're going to see Graham Sismy come on from the southern end. Once again, Graham's a very experienced cricketer. He could really turn this game in favour of Northern Districts with this spell.
And a destructive batsman as well, so he's got a bit of an X factor about him, Sismy, and he's taken the game away from Keira in so many different situations and so many different forms of the game. He's just a class cricketer for the Northern Districts. I'll work through the onside there, Matt Stark. Should only be 1. Coming back for 2. Indecision in the running. A good dive sees him home. Got the replay here. There's a bit of a stutter in the turn. Good turn there by Logan Brayley, but Matt Stark looks out for all money, but a very good dive there.
Yeah, once again, that running. Definitely putting a lot of pressure on themselves here, Keira, with the running.
If there could be an image that typifies Matt Stark as a cricketer, it would be him lying on his stomach on the pitch. The amount of times I've seen that man diving in, which is good, it shows he wants it, but it also probably shows that his judge of run's not really where it should be at the moment. Beautiful drive there. And a more comfortable 2 there for them. I feel like these 2 batsmen are taking turns at who should turn the worst. A very poor turn from Logan Brayley there. You just need to communicate better, because Matt Stark sees that the whole way. Logan Brayley essentially has to turn blind. It's not his call. He's just got to trust the batsman he's with. Full ball there from Sismy.
And a misfield, unfortunately.
And at the moment it hasn't hurt Northern Districts too much because they're in a pretty comfortable position, but their bowling has merited better fielding. They're building a lot of pressure with the ball, and they're kind of letting Keira off the hook a little bit with the fielding at the moment. Yeah, good ball there from Sismy.
Excellent ball from Sismy, but as you say, there have been 4 or 5 clear run-out chances, and none of them have been executed properly. And there's another wicket. Graham Sismy strikes his first over. Brayley going for the big lofted shot. Gave himself some room trying to hit it over the top of cover. Easy take for Robert Murphy, the keeper.
Oh, big edge there from Logan Brayley. He's in no man's land there. He's back down the leg stump. He's slashed outside off. But again, pressure built by the bowler.
Yeah, once again, it wasn't quite the time for that sort of shot. They were just starting to build a little bit of pressure back onto Northern Districts, getting a few easy runs. Went for a bit too much.
And with half the innings still left, he could have given himself a bit more time there. Obviously 40 is not the score you want to be on. But with wickets in hand coming into the end, you can afford to be a bit more expansive with your shots, but not at 3 for 40. You just got to kind of keep working into those gaps, and there were enough gaps there. This brings Jordan Theodosiadis to the crease. Jordan Theodosiadis got a very subcontinental flavour to his batting, very wristy. Comes from a long line of cricketing Theodosiadises. And he's come into his own a bit this year. This is a perpetual third grader as Sismi comes in.
Excellent ball first up there from Sismi, swinging into off stump.
Fantastic
Putting the pressure
over
on the batsman. Keira 4 for 40 off 10.
Yeah, they might want to do something about that run rate at some stage, but you can't really afford to at this stage. 4 wickets down, 10 overs to go. You've got to bat your overs.
Now, we've said before, 120 in these second grade T20 finals is pretty hard to chase, and has won the last 5, I think, the score of that. So it's not all over here for Keira.
But it's just the rebuilding. The rebuilding is taking time away from those batsmen who are already in, because they've got to start again as every new batsman comes in. So hopefully Jordan Theodosiadis and Matt Stark can work well together here. As he's blocked it to a fielder and takes off again.
Really pressuring themselves here, the Keira batsmen, with that type of running. It's just a matter of time.
And it really is. How many times do you have to hit it to a fielder, take off, and not be punished? It'll happen soon, and you just can't afford it. So you've just got to be smarter with these runs. There's a lot of gaps. It's a very big outfield. And the last thing you want to do is get run out early in your innings.
Particularly, these guys are recognised batsmen. You can't be leaving it for the bowlers to do the work.
So good soft hands there from Jordan Theodosiadis. A bit better run there. Pressure on the field again. And it probably shows they're just a little bit off today, just a little bit out in their judge of runs and their judge of shots. And we've seen that a lot of these dismissals have been batsman error so far. And that just comes from Northern Districts building pressure from, we'll exclude the first over, but for the large majority of their innings, he'd take off another quick single, going to the bowler's end. Oh. Matt Stark on his haunches, he might have to go again here. Oh.
Stark could have been run out at both ends with direct hits.
I don't know what the commentator's equivalent of "I told you so" is, but that's... there's a few spectators out here and some Keira faithful who are dying 1,000 deaths out here with this running. That's much better run.
Definitely keeping the crowd interested, that's for sure.
Oh, this is true. They'll be charging admission next year.
Yeah, I think Wollongong have to start charging admission, keep their payer payments all up there.
I think they should be paying a great deal of money just to have the privilege of playing here, as most of us do, Bondi.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll see Port Kembla playing out of this ground next year when King George gets refurbished.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? Very full ball there.
Oh, Davidson strikes with a full toss.
And Matt Stark's been removed for 20 there. You see on the Bar TV replay, very full ball, dragged to his favourite onside.
Hit it straight down Pryor's throat. Couldn't have picked him out any better. It's disastrous there for Keira. Excellent news for Northern Districts.
Yeah, it's a suboptimal start here. It brings Brings Joel Dowdle to the crease. And you can objectively say that Joel Dowdle is not a recognised batsman. His technique is different. We'll go different. Agricultural. Doesn't mind bat on ball, much like Doug Murphy. But has some serious firepower. But with 9 overs to go, Keira, a serious risk of being bowled out here.
Yeah, that was another excellent over there from Ryan Davidson. Not too many runs. Claims the vital wicket of Matt Stark.
And taking out any risk of there being demons in the pitch by not using it very often. I like that.
Yeah, well, as we said, 270 chased here yesterday in a second-grade game. Why use that type of wicket?
Seems like every time you hit it, it costs you runs. It takes a fair bit less effort that you can just kind of lob it up there, but it's bowling smart. They're bowling tight lines, and it means that the less good balls, you're sweating on them. You really feel like you need to cash in. So Sismi coming in again here.
Oh, bowled leg stump. Theodasis, what was he thinking? Coming across onto off stump, leaving his stumps wide open. Sismi hits it straight away.
I don't mind seeing the replay of this. I think he may have been bowled around his legs here. And that's not really what you need. He's shaking his head in disbelief there, Jordan, but I can assure you, you have been dismissed.
Yeah, looks like he didn't see anything.
Well, this brings Paddy Davis in the bat. And he's a good little surprise package here, Paddy Davis. He's got it. He offers a lot in the field. He's a fantastic little left-arm in-swing bowler. And he's a very handy batsman as well. I think Joel Dowdle might have been brought in to inject a bit of run rate into the game. Keira 6 for 46. The bulk of the runs here is going to have to be scored from these two.
Yeah, the Keira batsmen have definitely put a lot of pressure on the Keira bowlers. Not only are they going to have to score the runs, but then they're going to have to try and bowl out what is a very strong Northern Districts batting lineup out for a score that looks like it's going to be less than 100.
Leg side wide there by Sismi, looking to bowling around his legs again. But that's almost the only summary that they've offered up so far. It's just a very fair indication of how tight the bowling from Northern Districts has been so far. Sismi coming into Pat Davis. Oh, just missed the fielder there. Whipped off his legs.
Yeah, you are right. The bowling has been very good, very tight. And Northern Districts have worked very hard to minimise the easy runs for Keira. And that pressure has seen a lot of false shots, particularly at key moments. Another wicket there for Sismi. Once again, false drop from the Keira batsman, hitting it straight to the fielder. Logan Clements with an excellent catch.
As we see the replay there, hit very well by Pat Davis, but again, just finding the fielder. Good tight bowled in there by Sismi, but just an unnecessary shot again by Keira.
As we said earlier, Graham Sismi is a very experienced T20 player, very high quality T20 player at second grade level. And that experience is shown here. He's really opened Keira up here.
And it brings in Harry Fisher. Harry Fisher is a very relaxed cricketer, but I feel like even his nerves might be a little bit rattled at the moment with this procession of wickets due to tight bowling from the Northern Districts bowlers. And Joel Dowdle hasn't faced the ball yet, so there's been a strife here, Keira.
It has been one of the strengths of Keira over the last 4 grand finals that if they have lost early wickets, they've been able to bring it all back and create a partnership and put some pressure on Northern Districts. But so far today, that hasn't happened.
Well, that looks very adjacent there. Shaken away there by Brian Drury.
I think Turner would be going for DRS with that one.
Yeah, it looked good. Everything was good from deep and square. Didn't look great. maybe sliding down. That is the go-to cop out for an umpire if it's not out. Everything's sliding down. Oh, Joel Dowdall's gone for the big heave first ball. The ball squirts away down the fine leg, and a welcome boundary there for Keira.
Yeah, much needed boundary for Keira. Unlucky there, Sismy. This has been a really good over so far.
And you'd be happy to see that from Sismy. That shot wasn't on. It's the same ball as he bowled the last delivery, and it's been squeezed out through fine leg. It's just a matter of time. Sismy coming in again. Very full delivery. Caught and bowled. The implosion continues for Keira cricket. As we see on the Bar TV replay, he spooned what appeared to be a bit of a gift there straight back to the bowler. Full delivery, but probably not giving it the respect it needed.
Yeah,
trying to take it too square.
Looks like one of Graham's many slower balls, and it has dropped on him. But even still, the full toss, you've got to put that away, particularly in the situation Keira's in. That's an absolute disaster for Keira, losing another wicket. Excellent end to the over there for Sismy. Keira 8 for 54 off 12.
And that brings Caden Horsley to the crease. And he is a true tail ender. I've seen him score some runs before in very unconventional ways, but it's a big ask for him here. And you're just asking too much of these unrecognised batsmen.
This will be a good test here for Harry Fisher with the nous of Ryan Davidson. Under a lot of pressure here, Fisher.
So realistically, Keira have got to look to get around 80, and it's not a big score. But you're not defending 54, so you've got to try and bat your 20 overs. I know it's easy to say up here.
And there it is, the wicket to Davidson. As we said, Ryan Davidson, very nouseful bowler, got a lot of tricks. See here on the replay, Fisher's gone the big swipe. Nice little edge there to keeper Murphy. He put one down earlier, but that one, excellent catch.
Oh, desperate times here for Keira Cricket Club.
Yeah, this is exactly what Northern Districts would have wanted at the start of the day. Regular flow of wickets, no batsmen staying in, no pressure on the field. 1 wicket to go. Hopefully have Keira bowled out within 15 overs.
Yeah, I think Keira must have been parked in a 2-hour parking zone or something, because they seem pretty keen to get out of here.
And as we've seen many times before, these two teams have played many low-scoring grand finals. They're both very bowling strong sides.
I've just been informed that happy hour starts earlier on Sundays at the bowling club at Wiselands Park, so that makes a bit of sense now. So we've got Lewis Goodsall, he's a pharmacologist. We need some strong stuff to get us out of this one.
Excellent bowling again from Davidson, really creating some pressure.
Number 11 batsman, where are you looking? Mid-wickets plugged. There's fielders all around the bat. He's blocked it to a fielder and taken off and forced another error.
Another slight misfield from Northern Districts has cost them a run out. Put that down to 7.
Yeah. I feel like Keira being 16 for 55 at this stage would be very handy.
There it is. All done. Slower ball from Ryan Davidson. Takes another wicket. Northern Districts have bowled Keira out for 55 in 12.4 overs. See here on the replay, Davidson rolls his fingers down the side of it. Thick edge. Once again, Murphy takes the catch. Davidson very happy.
Carbon copy of the last dismissal as well. He's not giving you much width. It definitely wasn't there to cut. And Keira have a massive task ahead of them here in defending 55.
So we might just have a quick little break here, get a drink, and we'll be back for the Northern Districts run chase. Northern Districts needing 56 to win off 20 overs at North Dalton Park.
Oh, that's a sound thing. Sound. Daddy.
Welcome back to North Dalton Park in Wollongong for the second grade T20 final. And you are reading things right there. The target is 56 after Northern Districts rolled straight through the Keira batting lineup to bowl them out for 55 in 12 overs. The main destroyer was at the top of the order, Nathan Riley, taking 3 wickets off his 4 overs. Graham Sismy taking apart the middle order with 4 wickets in his 2 overs, and then Ryan Davidson 3 wickets in his 2 overs. So we'll see opening the batting for Northern Districts, Mark Cottam, and the captain Lee Turner. Both good quality batsmen. They've both batted well throughout the T20 comp this year. Mark Cottam generally pretty reliable. Lee Turner loves to attack. So we'll see. There could be some fireworks here early from Turner.
Yeah, Keira going to have to do something pretty special here. Speaking of special, I need to give a shout out to Anthony Showman and James Dixon, who are listening to this wirelessly. What a world we live in. Keira faithful. Thankfully, they're not here for this. They're fairly unwavering in their judgment of other people. So I feel like they didn't really need to see that first innings of a train wreck there.
I'd also like to give a shout out on behalf of Northern Districts to our friends from Disley Cricket Club in England. I'm sure they're all up watching this, sitting around having a few pints, enjoying the display second grade's putting on.
We got Harry Fisher opening the bowling here, and he's a pretty crafty bowler himself, but a bit of pace on the ball, can go for a few runs, so we'll see how this first ball goes. Good first ball there by Harry Fisher, full and straight, and working to the offside. Well fielded by Logan Brayley. A phrase not often uttered.
Yeah, nice start also from Mark Cottam, right in behind that, full face of the bat, into the offside. Be interesting to see what Northern Districts do here, whether they're just going to pace themselves and try and use up most of the 20 overs to get to the target, or whether they're going to try and get them early.
Another full straight delivery there by Harry Fisher. Well, Keira have this, they've got the runs, and now Northern Districts need to get them. And while there's not many, there's no easy run chasers in cricket. Those small ones are quite often very, very arduous to chase down because you don't really know how to attack it. Whether or not you go hard early and you can knock over most of it. As Harry Fisher runs in. Whoa. Appeal there by Jordan Theodosiadis, but the team didn't seem to back him up. I feel the fact that it hit the bat may have kind of stilted any chances of being LBW. But hey, you got to try something. Harry Fisher coming in for his 4th ball. Good delivery. It's big appeal, but it looks to be sliding down leg side there.
Yeah, good start so far here from Fisher. Good line and length, asking questions. But also well played in the end there by Mark Cottam.
See if he can take some of his form from the ball with the bat.
Yeah, as I said before, he's been very consistent in the T20 comp this year. So I think it'll be an excellent finish to the competition if he can get a not out and steer Northern Districts home.
Well, finds the outside edge there, Harry Fisher, but it just trickles down to kind of a fly gully position. And gully fieldsman on the ring now. It's probably still single if he doesn't get much of it, and there's not really a chance of taking a catch there, so I'm not certain about that fielding position, but that's right. Keira need to take wickets. They can afford to set an attacking field in the endeavour of taking a wicket. Oh, it's folded him in half there, Harry Fisher. Not really sure what happened there, but it's given wide there by umpire Brian Drury.
Yeah, it looks like that one sort of seamed down the leg side. Cottam tried to hoik it away. With all the fielders inside the ring, there's plenty of space over the top, but in the end didn't make contact, and Northern Districts get off the mark with a wide.
Big slash of that one outside the off stump there from Cottam, but finishes a very tidy over there by Harry Fisher. First over only going for one, courtesy of that wide.
So we'll see Lee Turner come on to strike, the Northern Districts captain. As I said before, loves to get on with it. They'll definitely be looking to get some early runs here.
There's a few Northern District patrons there underneath the tree. Where would you rather be? As a Keira cricketer, I would prefer to be elsewhere after watching that batting display. Matt Stark brings himself on, one of the luxuries of becoming the captain. I think that's the dream, the ability to bowl yourself whenever you want.
Yeah, very crafty bowler there, Matt Stark, as well. He'll be looking to create some pressure here. Maybe get a nice early wicket and put some pressure back onto Northern Districts.
Yeah, he bowls very flat though, Matt Stark, sometimes, which can be good in the 2020s, but I've seen more flight on Malaysia Airlines. We'll see what he does here, because he's got a pretty conventional ring field, so there could be singles in there because they're pretty widespread. First slip in there, which is good, a bit attacking. Or first ball on the sweep, given wide by Frank Chochi. Got away with one there, Matt Stark.
Yeah, the field that Stark set here, he's definitely looking to just stop the runs. He isn't really looking here for big wicket or anything like that. It just seems to be a solid run-stopping field.
Good dot ball there, though, by Matt Stark. But the first slip, he's turning it into the batsman. It's like it is an attacking position, that's true. Oh, as he's bowled a short, wide one, and he's been cut through point for four.
Excellent shot there from Turner. Got on the back foot early and put that one between the players for an easy boundary.
Now, obviously, too many of those would see the runs get chased down quickly, but you've still got to have that field up. Give yourself a chance of taking those wickets. You just got to get that ball out of there. Oh, on the back foot there, driven to cover. He's had a ping at the stumps. The batsman never left his ground.
Another excellent shot there from Turner, unfortunately to the fielder for no run.
The back foot drive, it looks very extravagant. I really like it, but well, good pick up and throw there, but the batsman comfortably home there, so a single there.
Yeah, another good looking shot from Turner, and a good call there from Cottam, who not always the best runner between wickets, but that was an excellent call and through for an easy single.
First slip looks very fine there. I feel like an edge that's big enough to carry the first slip would probably go wide of him. He's almost behind the wicketkeeper there. I'm not a fantastic field setter, but I feel like fielders behind fielders is suboptimal. And there's virtually no scoreboard pressure here. There's 7 after 2 overs, well ahead of the run rate already. It's just got to be wickets from Keira. Full straight ball there by Matt Stark, concludes his first over. Blocked the mid off for 0 runs.
Yeah, good over there from Matt Stark. However, Northern Districts did get 6 off it through some excellent batting. We can see the Northern Districts crowd there. Northern Districts have had 2nd grade, 3rd grade and 4th grade in finals today. 3rd grade won earlier. 4th grade were pipped at the post by Keira in what looked like another good game. And one club will take honours after this game.
I feel like even the most biased of onlookers could probably see that Northern Districts are in a bit better of a position here. Harry Fisher coming in for his first ball of his second over. He digs it in, but not much width given, and just blocked the point.
He's bowling some nice lines here, Fisher. Hitting a good length. All the balls have moved back in towards the batsman. Makes it tricky to get away.
He's a hard man to read, Harry Fisher, both on the cricket field and off the cricket field. He seems very, very relaxed most of the time, and I'd be surprised if he knows where he is today. But a pretty handy cricketer nonetheless as he comes in for his second ball of the over. Beautifully hit over mid-off. 4 runs. It's a fantastic shot there.
Excellent shot by Turner, over the top. No fielders back.
There's no fielders in the air. It's a very good shot there. Picked up the length early and driven handsomely over mid-off.
See here on the replay.
Oh, that looked good. That's a good angle.
Yeah, excellent shot there from Turner.
And they don't need much more than that. He's picked the ball that he knows he can hit with fielders inside the ring, and they've already got their quota of runs for the over. Harry Fisher digs it in, but no run.
Yeah, good bit of cricket there. Well bowled by the bowler and well played by the batsman.
And well fielded by Logan Brayley. There it is, twice in a day. Big day for the Bear.
Did he slot you some cash? Cash for comments, mate, or?
Oh, look, you got to give credit where credit's due. I think Logan Brayley's hands are like Teflon sometimes. Nothing sticks. But he's done well so far. Probably would have wanted a few more at the bat, so let's see if he can make an impact in the field here. Slashing hard. Oh, it's gone through third man, and it's cricket away to the fence for 4.
Yeah, the little delay in that delivery was Keira moving first slip and putting him in at extra cover. And the very next ball goes potentially through an area where that catch could have been taken. Some would say well played there by Turner, but I think there was a bit more luck in that one.
And you can see it so often. When you're down, things like that seem to happen. The ball will bisect fielders or it will chip in gaps, and it takes a lot to swing that. It's very difficult to kind of break that pattern if it's not going your way. So we'll see if Harry Fisher can get this early breakthrough. He's had a big hack at that one. That's fielded mid-off by CJ Smith. But they don't really need to play that kind of extravagant shot. They've got 8 from the over so far. They're well ahead in the run rate. They need 41 runs off a great deal more balls. Harry Fisher comes in. Big loopy slow ball fielded by Doug Murphy there.
It was well bowled and well played in the end. I think very good delivery, well disguised, and then Turner in the end played it very well.
Yeah, he's a crafty cricketer, Harry Fisher, and I like what he has to offer. He's dynamic in the field. He's a fairly handy batsman for a lower order batsman, and he's good with the ball. We're going to need something big from someone here, Keira. Captain Matt Starr keeps himself on for a second over, repaying the captain's faith in himself. Actually, he played first grade yesterday and did quite well. Got himself a sneaky little caught and bowled off a full bunger, so I think he might stick to his winning formula here.
Every spinner's favourite wicket, isn't it? The old full toss.
Oh, look, as a spinner myself, I feel like it's an underutilised ball. It's very, very difficult. And I think that it can come from pressure if you build pressure earlier, but I also think that, I don't know, it negates the fact that I don't turn a ball. And he's bowled the full bunger, and it hasn't resulted in a wicket.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Stark.
Oh, he counted himself unlucky there that full toss didn't result in a wicket. We saw in the Northern Districts innings on 2 separate times, full tosses resulting in wickets. Matt Stark bowls it in. Oh, confusion with the batsman. Throw to the keeper's end, and he is safe. Yep. Caught him using his feet here, which I like. It's not bad. It's a good way of negating any spin, getting into it early.
And probably not a great call there from Cottam either. Once again, the same as what Keira did, straight to a fielder and then took off.
Shorter ball there. Bit of an under edge and fielded by the gully fieldsman, Lewis Goodsell. But the only way that Northern Districts could potentially lose this is by running themselves out or playing silly shots. They've got to learn from Keira's innings. So if they hit it straight to a fielder, you don't need to take off. The runs aren't that pressing as it's cut through backward point for a single.
It's an excellent late cut there from Mark Cottam. It is one of his go-to shots. Plays it very well. You can see here Stark's rejigging his field for Turner. He's definitely more of the aggressor of the two.
And Matt Stark spinning it to Turner's legs. It'll be interesting to see how he plays this one. Matt Stark bowls it, short ball, worked through square leg, well fielded by David Mason.
Yeah, lucky to get away with that one, I think, there, Stark. Turner did everything right. Into his strike zone. Unluckily, he picked out the fielder.
Matt Stark coming in for his final delivery. Full ball and left through to the keeper. Another good over there by Northern Districts though. Sees them on 16 after 4 overs. Requiring 40 more to win.
I think the other good thing about this, Troy, is the uniforms the guys are wearing. It's good to see second grade playing in full coloured strips and white balls. I think it's something that Cricket Illawrra could look at for next year.
I 100% agree. It makes it difficult when first grade seems like such an unknown for the second graders sometimes, because everything's different. The first graders get the coloured balls, they get the coloured kit, and then second grade they play in this half-half mismatch thing. So I feel like it's a great look it's a great look seeing two teams out there kitted up, using the white balls on the Premier Oval in Illawrra. But it is a bit interesting that they're using a white ball after having used red balls for the entirety of the competition. So it makes it a bit of a different as they're pushing a quick single. Oh, misfielded there by Caden Horsley. Still doesn't know where the ball is. There he goes. Bless him.
I've had a bowling change from that northern end. Who have we got coming in here, mate?
Oh, we got Lewis Goodsall. Oh, Louis, he's a good egg, this one. He bowls very well. He's very conservative action, but the ball comes out very consistently. He bowls a nice full one. It's worked to the onside. Fielded by Paddy Davis and no run. Yeah, Lewis Goodsall is a little bit of a surprise package. No one's really sure why he didn't play for uni. He's got a heap of mates there, but maybe he was just, I don't know, drawn in by the allure of Keira cricket. I think I can objectively say easily the best team out of Keira. Our second grade, they've been our premier side for years, and a beautiful off drive there. Fantastic shot. The ball runs through, long off the forwards.
That's absolutely graceful there from Turner. Sure we'll see here on the replay.
Oh, gee, that's a good shot, isn't it?
Straight through the gap.
Textbook. Cut that up and make rulers out of it. That's how straight it was.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his strengths, Turner. He's got an amazing cover drive. I think if you're going to bowl to it, you're going to pay the price.
Full delivery there by Lewis Goodsall. We'll see what the umpire says here. It's well fielded by Jordan Theodosiadis, but it's resulted in byes, and they've scuttled through for a single.
I think he's a little bit lucky there, Turner. Through the gate, could have collected the stumps.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how close that one was. Based on the shot, it looked like he was playing it through the onside, but must have been a fair bit straighter than that as Lewis Goodsall comes in for his 5th ball of the over. Oh, just dug out there. Ball nearly trickled back onto the stumps.
Yeah, Cottam looked a little bit late on that one.
Yeah, he bowls a skiddy ball, Louis. It's just a bit deceptive as a cricketer. It doesn't look like there's much in the run-up and through the delivery stride, but what you'd say a heavy ball for a very light man. Comes in for his final ball of the over. Full. And whipped through mid-wicket. Returning for 2, and they'll make it comfortably.
Yeah, nice aggressive shot there from Mark Cottam. Put it through mid-wicket. And the good running, as you said, has seen Northern Districts get 2 there to finish off the over.
Northern Districts none for 24 after 5 overs, only requiring a further 32 runs for the win. And with so much of the regular season left after this game, it's a good chance for Northern Districts to assert themselves as one of the front-running clubs, because a convincing win over Keira here, who the rivalry of Keira and Northern Districts extends longer than my cricketing. it'd be a great way for them to get themselves off on the right track for the remainder of the season. So we've got another bowling change here, and Caden Horsley is coming in. Caden Horsley bowling some right arm gentles. Got a nice long run up, but it doesn't really result in rapid pace on the ball. But he's got some good variation, so we'll see if he uses his full repertoire here. He comes in for his first ball. Oh, he's wrapped the batsman on the pads.
Yeah, looks a little leg side, that one there, but a good first up delivery.
Yeah, not out shagger. It's Frank Chochi. Oh yeah, spearing down leg side. Good call there by Frank.
Yeah, nice enthusiastic appeal though from the young fella, so.
I feel like overzealous arm actions when appealing is very necessary in snaring yourself in LBW. As he comes in for his second ball, it's worked off the hip, but sent back there by Cottam.
Yeah, good call there, I think. It definitely wasn't a run. But yeah, LBW appeals, mate. I always feel that get down at least on one knee. That always helps with the umpires.
Exactly right. They're humans just like you or I. You don't want to be standing over them, being too overbearing. You don't want to double pump an appeal either, because I feel like you've asked once, don't ask again. It's like with mum and dad. If you've been said no, the answer's probably still no. Oh, good. Oh, fantastic bit of fielding there. Lewis Goodsill slides, throws the stumps down, but comfortably home there, Cottam.
Yeah, it's a really good cricket there. Nice little turn from Turner, and good early call from Cottam. Sees him home safe for a nice easy single for Northern Districts.
And in stark contrast to the Keira innings as well, like that was a well-judged single. Even with the direct hit, the batsman was comfortably home. Whereas in the Keira innings, you saw so many times that the direct hit would have resulted in the wicket of numerous batsmen. Brings Lee Turner on to 18. Caden Horsley comes in, another one down the leg side, signal wide by Frank Chochi. One of the true characters in the game. Port Kembla faithful, Frank Chochi, referee soccer, umpires cricket. You must truly love being hated. You don't exactly raise your child and send them along the career path as an umpire, because you don't make too many friends being an umpire. It's Caden Horsley, comes back in, work to the onside, given the police escort by Matt Stark, sticks his hand out and just lets it pass. Fielded behind by David Mason.
Yeah, it's a pretty good first up over here. It's been fairly tight. Nice lines. Good LB shout off his first ball. It's good from a young fella.
Yeah, when all his limbs start going in the same direction in his run, I feel like he'll gain a couple yards of pace. Coming into his delivery stride. Crack to forward point for no run there by Caden Horsley.
Yeah, excellent shot there from Cottam. Just unlucky he picks out the fielder.
And Logan Brayley putting on a clinic in the field out here. He's just come back from a broken finger. So he's been out of his splint for about 5 days, and he's out there giving it a red hot crack blessing. A good cricketing pedigree, Logan Brayley. Caden Horsley coming in for his final ball of the over. Smashed to mid-off there and fielded for no runs. Fantastic over there by Caden Horsley. Building a little bit of pressure, couldn't pierce the field there.
Yeah, very good over there for Keira. A few nice shots there from Mark Cottam, but fortunately no runs. Northern Districts are none for 26 off 6.
And it shows the class of the batsmen out there. They don't need to panic if they're not going for not scoring the runs as freely as they might like, because the target is meagre. It's a very small total that they need to chase, and only them are going to get them out. They're going to get themselves out. Like, that's the only way they could lose this from here, is if they're playing silly shots and making those lower order batsmen need to score pivotal runs. So they just need to play smart. They can trust their game, and they'll play a shot that's in their arc, but they don't need to chase anything too silly, because they only need 30 to win off 14 overs. Lewis Goodsill comes in again. Hit to CJ Smith on the ring at mid-off for no run. Goodsill coming in for his second ball of the over. Full and straight and worked through mid-wicket. Fielded by Pat Davis for a 1 run.
Yeah, well played there by Turner. He's picked the gap. A good early call. Sees a nice, comfortable single for the Northern Districts boys.
It's always an enjoyable rivalry, the Northern Districts Keira rivalry. I'm not sure why the games are always so tight when they are two very evenly matched teams. We always seem to get ourselves in these final situations, and as you said, alluded to before, 5 in a row played out between Keira and Northern Districts.
Yeah, I think it's the strength of the clubs, mate. I think both clubs are interested in teams all the way down from 1st grade to 4th grade. I think the big problem with Illawrra cricket these days, a lot of clubs are more focused on 1st grade and not too worried about the teams below that. I think a prime example will be coming up in 1st grade where Balgownie are very interested in 1st grade but struggle to field teams from 2nd grade to 4th grade.
And while I'd sell my nan for a 1st grade premiership, I do take a particular interest in the younger kids coming through, because as a Keira junior, I know how difficult it is starting in a club or starting in senior grade. Beautiful ball there by Lewis Goodsell.
Yeah, excellent delivery. And
you quite often don't go from juniors to the upper echelon of the cricket. You've got to work your way through those lower grades. So to completely discount or not care about those lower grades is detrimental to a club's general kind of health as a club, because everyone, we know 80% of everyone in our club, and I think that's a really good sign. Good ball there by Lewis Goodsell, played well by Cottam. And that's where the strength of the club comes from, all through the grade. I don't care how good your 1st grade side is, if you've got blokes who don't know each other or they don't like playing for that club because they feel like they're underappreciated or not even recognised as a cricketer within their club, you're not going to feel good. You're going to lose those blokes, and you're going to probably lose them to clubs like Keira and Northern Districts that have a really good kind of social outlook in all their grades. People will come and watch. Like, you can see that the seats filled with Northern Districts players. We can see Matt Stark's young brother rolling down a hill. It brings the families along because you feel like they're appreciated within their club.
That's it, and I think there's only so far that paying for players and things like that will go for clubs.
Because at the end of the day, you're giving up a large portion of your time, aren't you? You're giving up every Saturday for 6 months and some Sundays, and it's a massive investment in time just to say you've won something. And like, winning's fantastic, and don't get me wrong, you hate losing and you love winning, but you're giving so much of your time, you're spending it with these blokes, you'd like to feel like you're valued within that club and that team. So I feel like, and we're not playing for sheep stations. Like, I couldn't really tell you what you get for winning the 2nd grade T20 premiership or the 1st grade T20 premiership, but it's more about getting those memories with your mates out there. Like, you're playing with your mates, you're spending a great deal of time with them, and that's what's important within a club.
Yeah, and I think as well, if all the clubs are bringing through juniors and trying to create players out of their junior ranks, then the comp becomes strong overall. This bringing in players from other competitions to try and strengthen our competition, all that does is they come in for 1 year, the players at your club move down the grades, they get disinterested, and before you know it, all you've done is weaken the comp.
Yeah, nice little cut there by Turner, fielded by Logan Brayley. And people have their own standards of cricket as well. There's people who are perpetual 4th graders, not for lack of trying. They're just sometimes you're not blessed with that natural ability. So you need to give them the same respect as you would everyone else, because it's their level and they're getting the same enjoyment out of the game as you or I. And just like these blokes out here, they could be pushing for 1st grade, or they could be happy playing 2nd grade, or they could be up from 3rd grade. There's 1,000 different stories within a team, and that's why I think that these matches are so passionate between Keira and Northern Districts. As Caden Horsley comes into Turner. Oh, good bit of fielding there, in close by Matt Stark.
Yeah, probably could have had a shot at the stumps there. Cottam was a fair way out of his crease and had to dive to get back.
And there's that risk reward. You don't have the runs on the board if you miss, you can't really give up those 4 runs yet, because it's just, well, with only 27 runs required. Like, the wicket would be fantastic, but going through Matt Stark's head, you're thinking, well, if I miss this and it goes for 4, we're in a bit of trouble. Just work through the onside there by Turner for a single. and concludes Caden Horsley's over. Another tidy over from Caden Horsley. He's doing a good job for his team out here.
Yeah, the young guys from Keira bowling from both ends, being nice and tidy, but once again, as you say, if the batsmen had got a bigger total here, it would have created a lot more pressure for Northern Districts. And these guys might be getting a bit more reward, but unfortunately at the moment it's fairly comfortable and they don't have to push themselves, so they're sticking to the safe shots.
You can nearly afford to be a bit creative here, Matt Stark, because you're winning this by wickets. You're not going to get to the 20th over and Northern Districts require 10 or 12 off the last over. There's no runs out there. So you've got to try and aim for these wickets. So you can afford to bowl your strike bowlers out at the start to put a bit of pressure on those lower order batsmen if it gets to that situation. So I like what Matt Stark's doing, but I feel like he could keep trying to attack with his strike bowlers out here.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think wickets are the key here. You need to create a bit of pressure for the guys who are coming in for Northern Districts. And at the moment, just cruising along at sort of 3-4 runs and over, there's no pressure on the guys coming in, but a couple of quick wickets here and still runs to get could create that nervous energy. And as we all know, runs in a final, pressure on the board, funny things happen.
Yeah, it's a funny game, cricket. It doesn't take much to lose your wicket, but seemingly when you're under the pump, it takes so much to take one. It just takes one error from the batsman, or it just takes one very good delivery from a Keira bowler here, and who knows what happens. There's work to the onside there. Chase on for Joel Dowdle here. They turn for the second. Throw comes into the keeper's end. He's short here. And that's a wicket. Great piece of fielding there by Joel Dowdle.
Some really poor running there from Turner. That second one was never on.
Good slide and throw there by Joel Dowdle. You see on Bar TV, he's worked off his hip. There's always 2 runs there if they both take off early, but there's a bit of indecision there. Good pick up and throw. And he's comfortably short. But a good innings there by Turner. He's got his team off to a good start.
So the incoming batsman is Robert Murphy, the wicketkeeper. Very talented batsman, very talented gloveman. So it'll be interesting to see the approach he takes here, but usually he's one to get on with it.
And sporting the power sleeves, so no doubt a big hitter.
That's right, power sleeves. He'll be looking to go over the top with those on.
I reckon we're a good chance to get one up here, Bondi. But yeah, another classy player, Murphy. He seems to more often than not have a pivotal role in the games that we play, and we saw that with 2 very good catches off the bowling of, I think it was Turner? Davidson.
Yeah, up to the stumps to Davidson. Never easy task. But yeah, he's also one of the fastest guys between the wickets in Illawrra cricket.
Oh, the bail's been dislodged. It is a bit blowy out there, but overall very pleasant conditions. So as you alluded to before, Cottam potentially not one of the better runners between wickets, and Murphy being a very good one. We might see a little bit more pressure on these singles and a bit more indecision. And that's what Keira are relying on at the moment. If you can't get the wickets with the ball, then you got to build the pressure, and hopefully the batsman can make these mistakes.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what Keira are relying on here at the moment. As you said before, the field isn't overly attacking, mostly just on the ring, trying to stop the runs. But anything that goes through like that is either 4 or at least 2.
Beautiful cover drive
with the
there.
pace of Murphy, he'll come back for 3 here easily. Yeah, excellent shot through the covers.
Yeah, given a bit of width there by Lewis Goodsall, and comfortably hit through the covers there by Murphy. There's no risk shot. There's just such a big gap there. And with the fielder, Stark himself was fielding close on the ring. If you're going to be there, you've got to be in a position to take a catch, but it was kind of a bit half-half. So short ball there by Lewis Goodsall, pulled away to square leg for a single. Slight misfield there by Joel Dowdle, but didn't cost any runs, and you can forgive him after that run out.
Yeah, you can see as well, like Mark Cottam's timing's obviously not there at the moment. sort of struggling to put the ball away. But what he has done is stayed in and created that pressure on Keira. They're looking up. They can see they've only got 1 wicket after 9 overs. Only 21 more runs to win for Northern Districts. That pressure that he's created just by still being there, you can see that it's wearing down Keira.
And that's what Keira desperately needed when in their batting innings. They didn't need someone to try and score from both ends. They didn't need to take it to the bowlers. They needed someone to grind out an ugly 20 runs or less, but just be there so other batsmen can bat around them. Well struck there by Cottam, but fielded by Joel Dowdle for no run. And this is where the class of these batsmen shines through. You can see they're not panicking. They don't need to panic. So you don't need to finish it in one shot. You've got 20 runs to get and 9 wickets to do it with. You just need to play sensible cricket. As Caden Horsley comes in. Worked off his front pad, fielded by Matt Stark there. He's a busy cricketer, Matt Stark.
Yeah, who would you be going to here for a wicket? I know they've got Stark as the spinner. He bowls, as you say, a bit flat and very restrictive in runs. But who are you going to go to look for a wicket here for Keira?
Well, they've got the likes of, they've got Joel Dowdle in the side, and he's a bit of an X factor because he bowls a bit eclectic, but he has got that genuine wicket-taking delivery. There's a quick single taken there to Logan Brayley. Decides not to underarm it comfortably home. And while he's probably not known for his, I guess, consistency with his bowling, you need a wicket. And if you lose in the 12th or you lose in the 18th, the end result's the same. So you can afford to kind of chance your arm a bit and bowl someone who's a little bit more of that X factor, which I believe Joel Dowdle has. But even Dave Mason's a fairly good bowler. CJ Smith, he's a big turner of the ball, bowls a bit slower through the air, so maybe tempting them with the spin, and they can.
Yeah, I think spin might be the way to go here. The pace guys, while bowling well, it's still fairly up and down. So I wonder if it does need to be someone who's going to do something a little bit different with the ball. Yeah,
exactly right. And what we've seen so far has been much for muchness. We've seen 3 right-arm pace bowlers coming in, bowling much the same speed, and that's what batsmen like. They like the consistency. And as a recognised batsman myself, I feel like it's one of those things that you're sweating on. You're sweating on getting the same ball over and over again. But if you're constantly having to concentrate on what the ball's doing or what makes it different, as Caden Horsley bowls a wide outside off stump there, so you need something different. And someone like Joel Dowdle bowls an interesting mix of balls. He's got slower balls and bumpers and good Yorkers every now and then. So something like that could be what you need to kind of stimulate these wickets to be taken. Or CJ Smith bowls good spin, it's very consistent and gets good turn on the ball. So I reckon that's where Matt Stark needs to go to soon. And with so few runs left on the board to get, you can afford it. It's a run hit. Very well run there by Murphy.
Yeah, it's very comfortable for that, Robert Murphy. Just push it towards the fielder and go. As I said before, he's probably the quickest in Illawrra cricket.
And with the field so far back, like you're not gonna get there by restricting the singles. You need to get there with wickets. So we saw with Northern Districts, full toss there, well fielded by Logan Brayley.
He's on absolute fire at the moment.
Oh, he is. He's got a mag in his pocket, I reckon. Ball's just chasing him around the field. But they're going to get Northern Districts are going to get the score if you're giving them singles, 2-3 singles and over. That's all they need. So they need to be attacking Keira. They need to bring on someone who's a little bit different. They need to have these fields that are designed to take wickets. So this pitch, very up and down, spin might be your option, or variations of pace might be the I guess the go-to. But at the moment, you're seeing much more of the same. So Paddy Davis is coming on now, and he's a left-arm in-swing bowler, but at much of the same pace as the last 3 bowlers. So we might see a change from the other end, but Paddy Davis is a very good bowler, don't get me wrong, but on a pitch like this, you need to do something different. I'm not sure whether it's doing much through the air, and these white balls tend to not swing much after first or second over. They end up being pretty true, these balls, but we'll see how he goes. Still a few runs left to get, 18 required. It's Murphy face up for Paddy Davis's first ball. Well, he's
Yeah,
bowled on his
excellent
legs.
shot there from Murphy, whipping away off his pads. Really good chase there as well.
Good chase and good throw by Joel Dowdle. Caden Horsley very comfortably letting Joel do the fielding there, conserving energy, no doubt.
Yeah, and a good 3 runs there for Northern Districts.
And with no risk. And they don't need to. It was just smart cricket. And just seeing this total getting run down fairly comfortably at this stage. Paddy Davis with his nice long run up, pushing off the side screen. Probably could take a few steps off that run up and keep much of the same pace.
Yeah, we can see Ryan Davidson up there doing all the work, and Brendan Davis, he's just had a day out today, just cruised around in the field. Bowling wasn't required. Didn't even help out with the sight screen. Excellent shot there from Mark Cottam, though, over the top. It's going to be 4.
Leaving Northern Districts only 11 runs to get for the win. In what's been a very different clash, we haven't seen too many very low totals in these pair-ups in the last few years. This is by far the lowest, and it's probably one of the more comfortable run chases you'll see. These little ones, they can be tricky because it's difficult to know at what speed or... Oh, he's lofted it in the air. And taking the catch there, Joel Dowdle.
Yeah, there's that wicket that Keira needed. We'll see if it makes much of a difference at this point now that there's a few extra runs also being scored. But yeah, Cottam, I think, struggled for timing for most of his innings, but he's picked the fielder out there.
Good catch there by Joel Dowdle. Not the safest hands going around, but I'm happy to see him hang on to that one. Is this Sismy coming in?
No, it's Logan Clements, another one of the young players from Northern Districts.
Oh, he's been hitting the gym. He just converged in evolution up there.
Yeah, mate, he bought himself a Harley and he's bulked up a bit, so...
oh, smart.
You know.
You can't have one without the other.
That's right.
You don't want to be this weedy little thing riding around on your big hog.
Yeah, exactly. So,
look at me throwing around motorcycling terms. Straight from the banditos.
Yeah, we'll see what sort of approach he takes here. He's normally another one of those guys that likes to get after it and
Let's
and
see if he
scoring,
goes hog wild. Yeah, Paddy Davis coming in here. Wouldn't hate a few more dismissals from Paddy here. Just had a bit of life back into this game. Good full ball there to start from Paddy.
Yeah, excellent first up delivery there to Clements, and in the end, well played.
As we see Dapto first grade coming in for their final coming up, under the impression that they're made of glass, standing in front of the commentary booth.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. Dapto versus Balgownie. There'll probably be a lot of Dapto supporters here. But Balgownie controversially allowed to play in the T20 finals in first grade after illegally playing too many players from a game beforehand in the second game for first grade. Balgownie second grade stripped of the points, but Balgownie first grade unable to be punished.
I'll add a bit more vigour into the next game. Paddy Davis comes in, lofted and clipped through mid-wicket. This one could run away to the fence. Big chase on for Joel Dowdle, and he's cut it off.
Yeah, he found the gap there, Clements. Another good ball from the bowler. Definitely asking some questions, but he's put that through the leg side field for an easy 2.
Only 9 runs away now, Northern Districts. Matt Stark brings himself on. Let's see if he wants to win this or he wants to go home early.
Yeah, a little bit surprised by this. I thought he might have gone for one of the other guys to try and snare a wicket, but maybe he's looking to build a bit more pressure. I don't know if pressure is going to be the thing for you here when the required run rate is 1 and over.
But I like that he's trying to take the initiative here and try and win the game for his team. If nothing else, it just shows that he wants to be there, wants to be the one to do the job for Keira Cricket Club. But it seems like a bridge too far here. Only 9 runs required, 1 run and over. It's going to take something pretty crazy here for NDs not to walk away with the win here. Now Stark's first ball, very full. Squeezed out by Murphy.
Yeah, as we've said before, it definitely came down to that top order with the batting, didn't it? Those 3 early wickets to Northern Districts really stunted any sort of huge chase or huge total for Keira. So
short one there by Stark. Cut to Logan Brayley at point. But it's all for the experience. There's a lot of young blokes here who haven't probably played in these type of situations before, so they'll learn from it and they'll improve next time they're in a situation. Or
nice little late cut there from Rob Murphy. Getting a little bit short from Stark. Got on the back foot. Late cut for 1.
Better there by Harry Fisher. One of the 2 Keiras wearing their floppy hats out there. Well, Doug Murphy's floppy hat, I reckon you could cut fruit with it. That thing is so starched. I don't even know how it is just immovable, that thing. Oh, flatter ball, a little bit less width there by Matt Stark, and no run the result. So there's only 8 runs required. It will be interesting to see how the remainder of the runs are attacked here by Northern Districts.
Yeah, there was the big loopy full one and let go through there by Clements. Doesn't look like he's in any rush.
That's good. It's smart batting by Northern Districts. There's no need for any rush. He doesn't need to play anything silly shots. Just wait for a bad ball. Wait for his ball like he just did then, and plunged through the covers for 4.
Yeah, that's an excellent shot by Clements. Like you said, waited patiently and he's put the ball away when it's in his zone.
They're 1 shot away now, Northern Districts. We see on the Bar TV replay, short and wide. Description of myself, but not a great ball to be bowling at the depth.
Yeah, it's really, really well batted here by Northern Districts. You know, haven't lost wickets, doing anything silly, built the total, taken their time, and we'll be enjoying the victory at Woonona Bowling Club this afternoon.
And with only half a run required per over, I feel like the optimists may have to resign to the fact that this may not be Keira's day. Driven to mid-off there. Well fielded by David Mason. No run.
Yeah, another excellent shot there by Rob Murphy. Just couldn't penetrate the field.
So 4 runs to win here. Paddy Davis comes in for his second ball. Oh,
edged and dropped.
Outside edge and dropped by Jordan Theodosiadis. That's suboptimal.
Pretty much sums up Keira's day, though, hasn't it? That when the opportunities have come, they haven't grabbed them.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. But a good display by Northern Districts. The wickets came from tight bowling, and the run chase has been attacked in a very good way. Similar looking shot there, played and missed there by Murphy. This time swallowed by Jordan Theodosiadis.
Yeah, Murphy definitely looks like he wants to get off in a hurry. Hopefully it's with a boundary and not the wicket.
Bowling pretty well here, Paddy Davis. He's bowling a good tight line and length, making the batsman try and force him as he comes in. Oh, he squared the batsman up a bit there and it squirted out to point for no run.
It's been a good little spell here. He's really working hard to try and get a wicket.
That's all you can do at this stage. You just get yourself a few little consolation wickets so you can look back and say to your mates at the pub, yeah, well, I did my job. And then you can feel good about yourself after you've had a crushing loss. Full bunger there by Paddy Davis. Oh, doing everything in his power to misfield that one, Joel Dowdle, but he's still with no run.
Yeah, Murphy not happy with himself. He got to that ball on the full and really looked to put it away, but clothed it to the guy at square leg.
Yeah, that won't be on any cricketing posters, that particular delivery. Full toss, misfield. Yeah, like you said, Bondi clothed it. Let's see what happens to this next ball. Can only go up from there. Oh, Good delivery there by Paddy. Turned away by Brian Drury. Probably too full.
It looks like that hit him outside the line.
There's a few things wrong with that one. And
Yeah, good over there from Keira.
this is very true. If Brian wanted to spice up the game a bit, he would have got his trigger finger out. I've seen it before. Joel Dowdle coming in here. We'll see how he attacks this Joel Dowdle. I'd like to see him try and get a few wickets here. You're not winning this game by saving runs, so get out there, bowl your best balls, and if it takes wickets, then that's what you want. And if you go for the 4 runs, you look back and go, well, it's not because of this over.
And that's it. It's time for a bit more excitement for the crowd as well. So
I heard rumours of you streaking, Bondi.
Yep.
Yeah, there. A bit more excitement. See, they'll bring the crowds back. We'll have to air this a bit later in the night time.
The 9:30 slot.
Yeah, you won't be running after home and away. Oh, Joel Dowdle spears that one down leg side,
Yeah,
and it's a wide.
Keeper's made good ground there to get that. It was fairly leg side. He's done well.
Yeah. Joel sticking to the stuff he knows here, just giving us the mixed bag of Joel Dowdle deliveries. I reckon that the hand-to-head beam is coming. He's a certainty for that in the dying light at the net session.
Yeah, we had a nice beamer last year, if you remember.
I do, yes.
Yeah, Darcy McMahon took out young Patrick Reese.
That wasn't great. And he hasn't played since Darcy McMahon. It's affected him.
Yeah.
Also, he's in China. Quick single there, work to backward square. Oh, that throw is high, wide, and handsome by Paddy Davis. Nowhere near the stumps.
So let's see what Murphy does here, whether he tries to end it on this ball.
I'm saying ramp. Haven't seen one today.
Yeah, I think he might come down the wicket and try and slot it over mid-on.
Crowds love ramps. He's chipped it up in the air, and that looks like it. CJ Smith chases it down, but it's all in vain. Northern Districts take the win over Keira second grade in a very convincing display.
Yeah, excellent shot there by Rob Murphy to finish the game. Just waited for it in his zone, slotted it over mid-on. There's the 2 runs. Game over. Well played by both teams.
By one team. It was good to Keira to show up today. Wouldn't have gone ahead without him. Probably not the performance they would have put in. It's a bit of a fizzle to the end of their season, which is an otherwise very convincing 2020 season by Keira Cricket Club, but all credit to Northern Districts. They held their head in a pressure situation and they got the job done.
Yeah, very good from Northern Districts. They lost the final in 4th grade earlier today, won 3rd grade T20, won 2nd grade T20, and were unlucky to be missing out on the semi-finals in 1st grade by run rate. So excellent display from the club this year in the T20 cricket, and good to be taking home 2 premierships.